Hey guys, it's Brian, and today we are going to talk about how to fix your relationship with food forever. A lot of people have a bad relationship with food, particularly I feel like in the United States because of the fast food culture, because of the abundance culture. We have big meals. And also on the flip side of that, particularly for women, the need to be thin in order to be attractive, right? So that gets in your head young, and then you're kind of stuck to that mindset for the rest of your life, and we shouldn't be. So we're going to go over a few different relationships with food, from undereating to overeating to binge eating. Binge eating kind of fits right in between those two, and kind of the mindset that people have that gets them in trouble in those ways, and how we can fix that mindset and have a better relationship with food and a better outlook on nutrition in general. And before I get into this, if you have a severe eating disorder, I'm not the guy to come to. You should go seek out professional medical help. So with that said, we're going to start with undereating. And again, undereating I think comes from that skinny culture that America has had, where particularly women need to be thin in order to be seen as attractive. So this forces you to limit your consumption at a young age, and that kind of sticks with you for the rest of your life. What can happen is maybe we're not undereating to the point where we're sick, but we're undereating to the point where we're not getting all the nutrients that we need. And we have to look at food as a means to an end. So that means you need nutrition to fuel your life, to get through our day, to get through our life, to be happy, to be healthy. And so looking at it more as a utility, like something that we need in order to function properly, not just our body, but our mind too. So having that mindset where we're eating because we need to so that we can be better at work, get our workouts in, be in a better mood, all of these things can shift us away from that mindset where we need to eat as little as possible so that we don't gain any weight. Because if we're always in that mindset, we're probably not eating enough just to sustain a healthy balance physically and mentally. So look inside, think about what it is that's stopping you from eating. And again, this might be a therapy situation, this might be just journaling situation, but just any way that you can to kind of figure out what's at the root of this tendency that you have to undereat can help you kind of move forward from there. And then we can adjust how we look at it again to more of a sustenance. We need this to survive and thrive. And without the right amount of food, there's no way you can. And then getting into our second category, I think, of bad relationships with food is the overeating. So this can be comfort eating. This can just be a tendency to overeat just because of where you grew up, how you grew up, fast food culture, American food culture in general. It's a lot of abundance, right? Like you can go to McDonald's and get 1,200 calories for $10 and then do that 3 times. And now we're 1,000 calories over where we need to be. We do that every day for a long time, and you can kind of extrapolate the results. And I've definitely fallen into this before. I grew up eating McDonald's, eating all that stuff all the time because as a kid, you don't know any better. You get into high school, you definitely don't know any better in high school. You're looking for the cheapest, best tasting thing, and that's usually not the right thing. So I would be chronically overeating as a child and in high school, but sports kind of offset that so that I didn't see too many of the negative results. But I did end up seeing those results when I got injured, stopped going to practice every day, stopped lifting weights every day, and kept eating the same way every day. So that caught up to me real quick. I gained a bunch of weight and kind of had to backtrack and figure out what I should be eating, how much I was supposed to be eating. And I think that is at the core of it, is looking at what is the impetus for this overeating. It could be emotional. And again, we go back to what we talked about with the undereating. It's like look inside, again, therapy, journal, just trying to figure out what's at the core of it. Why does it make you feel good to overeat? Is it a comfort thing? Is it just a tendency thing? And once you get to the core of it, then you can start making changes. Then again, we look at it from the perspective of sustenance and the need to thrive and survive. Food isn't supposed to be something that comforts us all the time, although it can. It's supposed to be something that sustains our life and our lifestyle. So being able to think clearly, work out when we want to, be in a good mood, overeating can make those things more difficult as well, just as much as undereating can. So then we adjust that mindset. We understand that food is meant to fuel us, not meant to comfort us. And that doesn't mean we have to get rid of all the foods that comfort us, right? We can still go get that cheeseburger and fries every once in a while. We can still have some pizza. We can still have that milkshake, but it's just in the correct volume, in the correct quantity. And that way we're not chronically overeating, having those things every single day for multiple meals a day, because that's what leads to the chronic overeating. If you overeat once in a while, not a big deal. That does happen. I do it. Any health fitness influencer you see on the internet definitely does it every once in a while. This will kind of lead us into our next category of relationships with food, and that's binge eating. And I think that is purely comfort and emotional. I've had this multiple times. I hurt myself in high school. I mentioned that, how I gained all that weight before, and that kind of like comforted me to eat those foods, and I'd kind of go on these little binges every once in a while of just eating whatever, a bunch of it, and it does make you feel good. The reason I say it's in between both is because sometimes it is tied to the undereating, where maybe we have 1,000 calories throughout the day for a few days and we're just so hungry that it hits a peak, and then you binge and you have 3,000 calories all at once, and you do that over and over again. So if we figure out what exactly is the source of why we're feeling this way about food, why we have these tendencies to eat so much at one time and then the rest of the next 2 days we're eating as little as possible, and if we can kind of spread those calories out, get more nutritious filling food in, foods that make you feel good, then we can avoid those sprees of overeating or those quick decisions, those reactionary decisions we make when we go to a restaurant, or we're on our way home from work and we see the fast food light. You'll get rid of that impulse. If we're constantly eating enough food, nutritious food, you won't have that urge to go and binge all of the time. And again, with all of these, I think journaling, writing down what you feel, how you feel, regardless if it's about food or whatever, can kind of lead us down the right path of what the source of our bad relationship with food is, and then give us a starting point so that we can adjust it. For all three of those, overeating, undereating, binge eating, looking at the source of it, and then we adjust our mindset to thinking about food as a source of life, a source of energy for our lifestyle. So getting as nutritious of food as possible in throughout the day, every day, so that we're not having the tendency to, one, undereat, sapped of our energy, two, overeating and binge eating, where we're not having nutritious food at all, so our body thinks we're hungry all the time, and we need to keep eating and go get McDonald's and go get In-N-Out and go get pizza and whatever. So having those nutritious foods is really the end game solution for all of these. But without all the back end work where we're finding the source of these tendencies, it's going to be very hard to just make that change, right? Because those emotions are still there, those feelings are still there, and if we don't address those, then moving forward with just a brand new diet to fix your problem is not going to fix it at the end of the day. You're going to go back to your normal eating habits in order to fill that need that you have emotionally, mentally. So again, take a step back. It's not just that you're a bad person and you can't control yourself. That's absolutely not it. There's something in there, whether it's tendencies from childhood, whatever happened when you were a child where food makes you feel better. Those things, if we can identify those and again, put into practice our new habits, that's the best way to go about fixing your relationship with food. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I hope you found some value in this. I know just talking about it for me kind of had some light bulbs go off because I still have tendencies here and there. So if you want more videos just like this, please subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.